Have you ever heard the saying, I'll forgive, but I'll never forget? Hi, I'm Dr. Dan Milricks, and I want to welcome you to the Light of Liberty, our Easter week edition, as we start to go through the 7 last sayings of Christ. And the primary word that describes this saying is forgiveness. In Luke chapter 23, verse 34, Jesus said these words as they were nailing him to the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. How in the world is it that he is able to forgive those who are putting the spikes in his hands and in his feet, that have scourged him, mocked him, and continue to ridicule him? It's because he understood the forgiveness releases us from the painful past and allows us to be able to have a promised future. He was also demonstrating to us what he had said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 44, when Jesus said this, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. Jesus is saying in order for us to be able to move forward from a painful past, we need to be able to release and forgive so that we can go forward into a faithful future. Now, understand this. Forgiveness doesn't condone what has been done. There is still a penalty for our price to be paid in reference to the sin of our life. Because if you remember, it wasn't just those that nailed him to the cross that crucified Christ. It was all of us. Paul and Peter continued to remind the entire world at that time, listen, it wasn't just the religious leaders. It wasn't just the Romans. All of us crucified Christ because it was all of our sins that made him go to the cross. In Romans 5:8 it says, and while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. God demonstrated his love. And that love was so that we could be forgiven of our sins. But it is not a forgiveness that is cheap. It is one that cost his son his life. Unforgiveness holds us back from living the abundant life that Christ has for us. Why? It's because it's likened to what one author said, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. Forgiveness is what is extended to us so that we can extend it to others. That's why in the prayer that Christ taught the disciples, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Forgiveness is the way that allows us to be able to start a journey of a life that is now full and a horizon bright, rather than being chained to a painful past to where the way is dark and sorrowful. God came to give us life and light, and it starts when we accept his forgiveness of our sins. When God covers us, he's got us covered completely. Father, forgive them. I'm wondering today, who is it that we need to say, Father, I forgive, and you fill in the blank. Remember, it starts with a decision that becomes a daily practice. God bless you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue in our journey of the 7 last sayings of Christ and what the words that mean that rock the world all the way to the core of its soul. Thank you for joining me, and remember, to him whom the Son has set free is free indeed. Now that's a life that you can live and love for all eternity. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.